In lieu of a rapture talk taking off here on TikTok, I thought I would talk to you today about my own religious trauma called Judgement House. Other places also refer to it as the Passion Play, sometimes the I Am Easter Play. I can't believe it's real, but I'm really going to tell you, it's really real. So it's probably going to be a long one, but just buckle in. I promise you it's going to be worth it. Okay, so, Judgment House is something that happens, in my opinion, only in the deep south in the Bible Belt where I grew up. I don't live there anymore, but that is where I grew up. So, what is Judgment House? Judgment House is a live action play, and it has to take place in a church that's big enough to house it. So, my church was little out in the country. We had to go in town to the bigger church that was in town, right? And the reason it has to be big is that this is going to be a live action play that you are seeing. So let me set the scene for you because I went to three of them and they were pretty much all the same with slight differences. You go into the church and you're going to start at a scene. It's going to be a family at dinner together or the night before church or the night before a big test, something like this. And basically, everyone's going to pray, but one of them, usually the dad or the older brother, they're going to be like, I don't believe in God and I'm not praying with you. Okay. And everyone else is praying and they all go to church. And then, so that's going to be in the first room that you enter. This is why you have to have a big church. So that's the first room that you enter. And it's a live play put on by members of the church. Okay. They are literally acting this out for you. And you are in a little group of like 10 people. And then they end the scene, the lights fade, and then you are guided by a person dressed up as an angel, by the way, out of the room into the next scene. Okay. The next scene will usually be when everybody dies. So they're going to get into like a big car crash. That's generally, I think all three plays had them get in a car crash. I can't remember. Maybe one of them had them like their house burned down. But basically, everyone in the whole entire family dies. Okay. And the whole family that was Christians, literally during this scene, are met by like an angel, and they're like taking off, and he's like, "Wait!" Like the unchristian one is like, "Oh no!" And then the other one who's unchristian is met by another angel, but like usually not as pretty and like more solemn. And then the scene fades and ends. Okay, and this scene is very traumatic. They are literally screaming. They will have blood scenes, like props. Like it is literally like. Like that is not like a calm scene. They have literally died in front of your eyes, okay? Side note, the first one I ever went to see, I think I was 13. So the scene fades, and then you're going to go out of the room into the next room. So that's why I said it has to be quite a large church, right? And so the angel guides you, and now you're following the whole family who's died, and you get to see the good family who's like Christian go up to heaven, and like there'll be like usually like a whole scene of like the gates, like the gold gates, and there's like an angel with his book that he reads your names from, and then the one who didn't pray and didn't go to church is like, wait, why isn't my name in the book? And they're like, because you have to go to hell. And then the scene fades. And then again, we follow. Now we're only following the sinner, whoever it is, the dad, the older brother, sister, whatever. We're only following the sinner now, okay? And here comes the really traumatizing part. Now, I've been to three of them, and all three of them, they were in quite large churches. So the churches had a gymnasium, right? And every single church, if you're from the South, you know the gymnasium was built on later. So you have to like go out and then go down a set of stairs, and then you're into like a huge gymnasium, right? This is the perfect setting to signify the descent into hell. So you open the door, I'm not lying. And usually it's painted all black, or they've literally put up black construction paper against the whole wall. They've blocked out every light. And then they have also cut out like flames. Like the ones that I went to went hard, like huge, massive flames built, like cut out of construction paper, glued all over each other. They'll have like crackling flame sounds with like lights that look like crackling fire. And I'm not joking. And then they'll be like, like the screams of like the dying sinners, like the people who are sinners, right? Like you'll literally descend into like a madness of hell. I know that some of you are laughing, but the reason that it was so awful is that at 13 years old, I really believed that what was happening was real. Like, like the fear that comes with that type of religious psychosis is huge. And I just feel like we have to talk about it because when we descended, every time, the three times I went, the fear, the chills, the goosebumps that would rise on my skin descending into this fake hell. It was real to me. Like, it was real. I felt that it was real, you know? And so basically, when you get down there, the only person who's allowed to play Satan is the pastor because he's the only one with the religious fortitude to play Satan and make it out on the other side and not be like his puppet, right? So you're gonna get down there, and the ones that I went to, they usually are wearing like all black or even like a Halloween crazy mask, and they're like, "Blah, I'm Satan," and they're like really crazy and they're terrifying, and they're like, "If you don't repent and listen to God, you'll be sent to hell." And I'm not joking. It's literally like that. It's literally so crazy. Like I was crying every time I was down there. I was like shaking and like crying. Okay, like I was like, and then at the end, so then at the end, you're gonna pop out somehow. They make the play, you're gonna pop out into their regular church, like where all the pews are, and you worship, and then you're gonna go up to the altar, and then there's gonna be what's called it's called a call to God time, literally, where the pastor or usually this is going to be like the youth pastor because the pastor is busy playing Satan in the play, right? So it's going to be like the youth pastor or the vice pastor of the church because they have vice pastors. He's going to stand up there and be like, "Who needs to repent and come up here and get saved? Who needs to ask Jesus into their heart so that they don't get fucking sent to hell?" Basically, right? There's like a huge thing, and people, children, okay, 12 to 18 years old, will come up to the altar weeping and fall upon the altar and dedicate themselves to Jesus. And so, if you are wondering what the fuck is going on with rapture talk, I want you to understand the indoctrination that goes into it, the fear and the brainwashing that goes into it when that is done to you over and over and over again, right? Now, luckily, I like mentioned it to my mom, who is what I would consider to be a very liberal Christian. She was like, "What the fuck?" And we stopped going. But my dad was much more conservative, so that's why we had started going in the first place. So I just want you to know that this is for real. They think it's for real. For real, for real. I don't know how else to say it to you. And I hope that if you made the to the end of this that you listened to it and it wasn't too boring. And this was a really vulnerable post, so I hope that you watched it to the end. Follow me if you loved this post. And this is not my normal thing. I usually post about books, so it's good to talk to you. Have a great day. I love you, besties. Bye.